everybody. Just checking in with the world. It's Thursday morning. It's a beautiful day. And it's Thursday morning. And we're going to have a little Christian Womanhood talk. And I did send out the stream to the Christian Womanhood group. Hopefully, somebody might consider jumping in. We're going to try to have a little broadcast and, talk about life, have our coffee talk. Darlene was unable to come on today. She has a doctor's appointment for her follow-up on her she has a doctor's appointment for her second opinion on her back. So hopefully we will be hearing some good news from her later today. I cannot wait. I'm hoping that she has some good news to share with us when she gets home from her doctor's appointment later today. And I can't wait to hear it. And I'm having a little struggles myself lately, but I'm working on it. We've talked about this before. I try to fake it till I make it, and sometimes I don't have a choice. I have to do the best I can. And this happens to be one of those where I have to do the best I can. Today is my grandson Brantley's very last football game, and I definitely want to be there to cheer him on. And so I am going to do the best I can to be okay and to be there for my grandson. I don't know if anybody saw my latest discussion about one of my Facebook posts was Brantley scored a touchdown on Tuesday, and oh my goodness, that child was so proud of himself. He has been wanting to score a touchdown all season, and they don't have a long season because they're like 5 and 6. And so they don't have a long season. They just in fact, their first game was the 5th of September, and today's the last game, so didn't last long, but he has had so much fun and he's worked so hard, and he's just been amazing as a tough guy, working his best, doing his best. His parents told him that they don't expect him to be the best. They just expect him to do his best. And I think that's the best advice a parent can give a child that's playing in a sporting event ever. You don't have to be the best, just do your best. And I think that's a little bit about how I live my life. I don't have to be amazing and healthy and happy every second of the day, but I have to give it my best, especially when it comes to my family and my grandkids. And there are times when I want to just lay down and give up and take a nap, and I do that some days. Some days I give myself that break and say, you know what, today you just need to lay down and take a nap. But this morning I had a good night's sleep and I woke up late. That's why I'm the way I am. No makeup today. I had a great night. I slept good. I didn't get up until 6:30, which is late for me. I usually get up with Ryan when he gets up at 4:30 to go to work, and I got up and been rolling since. Got some coffee, got my meds in me, had a little chat with my youngest son, with Brantley's daddy, for a minute. I think he was checking to make sure we were coming to the last game, which of course we are. Grandparents, that's our job, you know. But the biggest thing I think in being a grandparent is to support the kids, to be there when they have events, to be there for your children and their children when they have something special going on, and you can be a part of it for them and make them feel good about themselves. It's just kind of nice. And it's not far away. It gets me outside into the fresh air for an hour twice a week. And I'm kind of sad in some ways that this is the last game, because I think it has done me a world of good to be outside, to be get hours worth of fresh air twice a week, That's amazing. It's amazing. And I thank God that I have the ability. I take my rolling walker because I have a hard time walking on uneven surfaces, and you walk across the grass. The fields are just like in a church yard, and so you just walk down these narrow paths of grass and just sit on the sidelines. And so I take my rolling walker and I push that down, and that's what I sit on during the game or practice or whatever we're there for. And it makes my grandson happy that I'm there. And he sees that Nana makes an effort, and Nana tried to do her best to be there. And I think that's important. I think that's important to let our grandkids see that stuff, that they can see that we struggle. When I'm having a bad pain day and I'm a little short tempered, I definitely I'm not afraid to apologize and say, you know what, Nana, sorry, it wasn't your fault. I'm just frustrated. My leg hurts today, and you have not done anything wrong. And I take a minute to remind myself that sometimes when I'm angry from pain, that it's not my grandkids' fault. They didn't they didn't do anything different, especially the 6-year-olds. They're 6. They're active, they're busy, they do a lot of stuff. And if they bump into my bad leg when I'm having a bad day, do I yell at them? Sometimes I might say, "Ow, you're hurting, Nana," but my main goal is just to make sure that they understand that, okay, you got to be careful. That's my bad leg, but you're not doing anything wrong being a kid, because heaven forbid they have to kids these days deal with enough struggles and stress that the world puts on them and school puts on them. They struggle sometimes with the stress, and I don't need to add to their stress. But back to flaking it till we make it. Let's talk a little bit about that. Days you wake up and everything hurts, and that can be just from age. It doesn't have to be from chronic pain disease. It doesn't have to be from something chronic or some illness. Just age can make us achy in the morning. Um, you wake up and everything hurts, and you think, I just want to lay here in bed and not get up and do anything. You can't give yourself that luxury as much as you would like. For the most part, you need to get up and be a part of the world, and it's not easy, but get up, get dressed, That's been my biggest thing. When I was in the deepest depression, I was not getting dressed. I would stay in my pajamas all day long and spend the majority of my day in my bed, and I was depressed, and I was getting more and more depressed, and it was told to me very bluntly by somebody who loves me and cares about me, my favorite aunt, that you need to get out of that bed and put some clothes on and shower and put clothes on every day. And that has helped. I mean, that was a first start, was to get up every day, get dressed, and start for a real day. Now, lately, I've been feeling that that wasn't quite enough, and I think it's because I wasn't getting enough good sleep. And last night I slept better, so I feel better. But so I started. Okay, if I'm getting up at 4:30 and I'm tired and I'm achy and I just wanna, I'm gonna put some makeup on and I'm gonna go online with my friend Darlene and I'm going to be a girly girl, which I'm not always a girly girl. Um, but I do like, when I worked full time, I did wear makeup to work. So that was something that I've added in a little bit to try to make an effort to go forward, and one more thing to make me feel human and part of the world. Get up, get dressed, put some makeup on, get on with my day. And, I might only do one or two things around the house during the day, to help my husband out. He really, honestly, as much as he works so hard and physically, um, a full time job, he works his tail off for us. And he still does the majority of the housework. I do cook the meals, but for the most part, he does the dishes, he does the laundry, he does the basic upkeep, sweeping, mopping, that kind of stuff really hurts me, and it does physically hurt me. I know. Last weekend, I thought, well, he had to get out there and mow the lawn, and we were trying to spend a little time together. So I thought, well, he's mowing the lawn, I'm going to vacuum and sweep and do some things. So we had our oldest son and his wife and their two of their kids coming over for dinner. So I wanted, the house to be okay, in okay condition. So I did that while he was out there, and man, I paid for that for a few days. I just now, Thursday, just now, feeling like I'm not feeling that pain from vacuuming a big living room and the hallway and sweeping the kitchen dining room area. Took me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days to feel better from just doing that one thing. And so I have to pace myself when I do things. It's not fun. It's not something I choose to do. I just know that I have to pace myself, that things don't just happen. I can't just clean the house from top to bottom in one day and get it done and get out there and be happy and not pay the price physically for doing it. And you may be in that same boat, and it may be something that's very hard on you, something that you did on a regular basis, picked up the house, cleaned the house every day. Good morning to Jennifer. Good morning to you. Good morning to Jennifer. Good morning to you. I am just babbling, Jennifer. I'm talking about pacing myself when I'm trying to do things around the house and trying to do housework, and how I have to pace myself because physically I will pay for it if I don't pace myself. And I do pay for it physically, even when I do pace myself sometimes. So, how are you this morning, Jennifer? Darlene is not on this morning because she is taking the morning to rest before she goes for her second opinion on her back. She has a doctor's appointment today, so I'm definitely asking that people keep her in your prayers today while she goes for her second opinion, and hopefully it will go so much better than the last opinion on her back went. And it can't be worse. Let's face it, it cannot be worse. You're not having a good day. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. Well, let's hang out together and we will hopefully you're having pain or I've kind of had a mental issue today. I got a good night's sleep and my pain is controllable, but I was feeling a little lonely this morning. I knew Darlene wasn't going on, and that was kind of making me a little down. And people don't know to look for the show on my channel. Good morning to Darlene B. Good morning to you. Good morning, Darlene B. Good morning to you. Good morning, Darlene. We're just chatting, and Darlene Norgus has her second opinion today on her back, and we're praying, keeping her in our prayers for better outcome. You're welcome, Darlene. For a better outcome, at least some answers and some real doctor opinion, I guess, is better than what she got the last time. The last time she went, that guy was so wrong in the way he treated her, and I figure it can't be worse. It can't be worse than get the gun out of your glove box. You know, what doctor does that? That is crazy. But she just needs to get some straight answers. That's what she needs. And that's what I'm praying for today, that she gets some straight answers. And whether it be we need to do these treatments first and try these different things first before we consider surgery, or right away we need to try to do surgery to fix the immediate problem and then work on therapy to try to fix the remaining issues. She needs something, and a straight answer will be a start. Yes, that's exactly it. I'm hoping Jennifer can hanging out with us maybe for a little bit. We can turn Jennifer's day around a little bit. I was having a little bit of loneliness this morning because I knew Darlene wasn't going to be on. And let's face it, that's my morning. That is my morning therapy. Good morning to Eva. Good morning to you. Good morning to Eva. Good morning to you. Good morning, Eva. Thank you for joining us. I was having a little bit of loneliness because Darlene wasn't coming on this morning, and the last probably week or so, I've been really missing my best friend that passed away on Valentine's Day. This is a time of year when the kids were all back in school, and not that both of us, our kids were grown and have kids of their own, but it just is a time that people start to get into a routine. And so this would be the time of year that we might get together and go out for dinner or go out for lunch or something, just the two of us, and have a good talk. And I'm missing that right now, and it's been difficult. I'm just missing her friendship. I know she's looking down on me from heaven and saying, "Girl, get over yourself. We had some great times, but it's her time to be an angel in heaven and do good things from there." Well, good morning to Kenneth. Good morning to you. Good morning to Kenneth. Good morning to you. Kenneth, this is how we, in the Christian Womanhood, we welcome people to our show, is we pop on, and when we see somebody come into this live stream, we sing them the good morning and hopefully bring a little cheer to their day. So that is my crazy bad singing, and that's why we do it, just to bring a little joy to everybody's day. Aw, thank you, Denise. Good morning, Denise. Good morning to you. Good morning, Denise. Good morning to you. Aw, thank you so much. I love you too, Denise. Thanks for stopping in. I so much appreciate it. Uh, yeah, Jennifer, I totally understand that. And that's got to be a difficult thing. You have to protect your sobriety with everything you've got because you've worked hard to get where you are at today. And you can't let somebody else's disrespect pull you down. You are worth more than that, Jennifer. You're going to be okay. God's going to find a way. God will find a way to help you. Just pray. We'll pray for you. Um, there will be a way. God will provide. Your sobriety is more important than anything else in his rent money. Your sobriety is more important than his rent money, and God will provide. God knows that, and he sees that. I'll definitely be praying for you. Definitely, definitely. Throughout today and on and on. I pray for all of you guys. I love you all that are in the chat, and I enjoy our morning chats. It's my morning therapy too. Um, and let's face it, it's just nice to talk to some other like-minded individuals in the morning sometimes, and especially when we are stuck at home or homebodies and here we are by ourselves rather than wallow in our loneliness. It's nice to get on and chat with some people who have the same heart that we do, and I believe that you all have the same heart, and I am proud of you, Jennifer, too, and I know I will keep you in my prayers. God will find a way to provide. We're going to do this. Good morning to Deborah. Good morning to you. Good morning to Deborah. Good morning to you. Good morning, Deborah. Thank you for joining us. Yes, it is, Denise. It's the best thing is to have some nice people to talk to and definitely other human beings so that we're not just sitting by ourselves in a place. I mean, when I try to fake it till I make it, flake it till I make it, I nothing helps me more than to just have a nice conversation with some other people who are in similar situations, and it just makes me feel more like a human being that I have people to talk to. Look at that, Jennifer. You've got a ton of support. You're gonna get through this, girlfriend. That God will find a way to provide for you. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it. Everybody who pops in, if you definitely, if you're not subscribed to somebody else's channel that's on here, please pop over to their channel and subscribe. That's the best way we can support each other. Just if you're subscribed and you hit that bell and somebody goes live, you get a notification, and then that gives you a chance to talk to our friends from their channel or another channel, and is much appreciated. Eva, drive carefully. So I'm glad you'll be listening, but please drive carefully while you take your son to school. I can't believe my kids are past that age. It seemed like um, I am subscribed to you, Deborah. Um, I cannot believe. Please, everybody, subscribe to Deborah if you're not. Um, I can't believe my kids are already grown up and have kids of their own. Both of my boys, their oldest children are in first grade already, and my son, when he stopped by the house this morning on his way out for work, since he lives right around the corner, um, he he said, some days I can't believe I have a first grader. And let's face it, Mom, I know it's end of September, but I feel like the school year is going so fast already. It's the end of September, almost October. Before you know it, he's going to be halfway done with first grade." And I said, "Yeah, I know how that feels. Imagine that. At one point, you guys were my babies, and now you're grown and have babies of your own." Good morning to Myra. Good morning to you. Good morning to Myra. Good morning to you. Good morning, Myra. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. We're saying prayers for Jennifer today. She needs a little pick me up today, and she needs a little providing from God or somewhere to help her out with some things. She had to move a boyfriend to the curb so that she could protect her sobriety, and that's more important. So we need to pray for Jennifer, for her pain, and that she will find a way to get things paid without somebody dragging her down in the process. You're always welcome, Myra. Everybody's always welcome for their song. It sounds silly. It sounds like such a funny thing to do. Sometimes I think, oh my gosh, why did I start doing that? Now these people have to listen to my crazy bad singing every single day. But it makes me happy to sing. I'll be honest. It makes me happy to sing. Um, I'm one of those people that will sing about anything and everything. Um, Throughout my day, I will just start randomly singing. And if it just makes one person feel good that I do, then that's worth it to me. Thank you, Denise. See, if it makes one person happy, then it's worth it for me. And I get some joy out of it too. Let's face it, your endorphins get raised when you're in that happy place, and that is what thank you, Jennifer. That's what we try to do, is just be in a happy place. If anyone want to come on and join me, see if I can pop the link in here. Not very good about this link stuff, but anybody want to come on and join me so I'm not just having conversation with myself. I'm trying to converse with you guys in the chat too, and I appreciate so much that you guys have come on. I so much appreciate it. I didn't know when I told Darlene that I would come on this morning. I didn't know if it would be, if anybody would come in or if anyone would come to listen. Um, I'm always on Darlene's channel, and we don't switch around. It's been on Darlene's channel, and people know where to look for it. And that's the best way, I think, is to keep it consistent, because then as we add more people to our morning talk and our morning therapy session, then, excuse me, then people know where to go. People know where to look for it every day. And so if occasionally I do it from my channel and only a few of you find me, then that's how it's going to work. But it's more, I like the consistency of it being on Darlene's channel, and she's so much better at this than me. And she has Casey in the house to help her with the technical things, which I don't have, and I'm here by myself. And if something technically goes wrong, I would totally freak out. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to come on and give it a try. That's all I can say. And that's what I was doing for our friend Darlene. She needs to take this time before her second opinion today. Everybody, don't forget to keep her in your prayers today. She's going for her second opinion. Can't be worse than the first, but I just hope and pray that she gets some kind of answers or some plan for a solution to help her to feel better, because she can't keep going on feeling the way she feels and that be the end all, that be the answer, that be where she's stuck at not quite 55 years old. I mean, I think of that with myself sometimes. You know, I am 55 already, and I think is this I know that with the what I have with the chronic regional pain syndrome, it's never going to get better. It's going to get worse over time. So I'm making plans. I know, but I know that ahead of time. We're making plans. My husband and I are making plans to build a deck with a ramp so that when it comes time for me to have no choice but to use the rolling walker all the time or to use a wheelchair, we'll already have the ramp on the house, so it'll be ready for me when the time comes. So that is something I can plan for. This with her back, I think this kind of came up as, they fixed her neck and shoulder and things just discs being how did they say the other doctors say that she has bulging and protruding discs. That is not a normal thing for people to have. I mean, yes, a lot of people have it, but they can fix that. So I don't understand why that first doctor was so rude and dismissive of her when there are ways to fix those kind of things. I mean, if there's something that can be fixed, by all means, let's try and fix it. I mean, we don't get to an age where they say, well, we can't fix anymore because you're old and there's no point in fixing you anymore. Yes, there is. I still have life to live. I still have things to give, heart to give, love to give, and I want to live the best life I can live. And I think we all feel the same. True. Good morning, lovely Jubilee. Good morning to you. Good morning, lovely Jubilee. Good morning to you. That is true. Some doctors are of Satan, I swear. I think they forget. I think sometimes doctors forget where what their real job is supposed to be, to try to care for their patients, to try to help their patients in whatever way they can. And I think sometimes they do get sidetracked by insurance companies not wanting to do things, by um, a lot of things. They get sidetracked and they forget, and the devil gets in their the devil gets in their head, and then they start saying things like the crazy things that they said that that doctor said to Darlene. Myra, I do understand that insurances won't pay for a lot of needed tests. I had that. Um, Right, Deborah. Some of them just forget to be human. My mom is 76. I have to think about. I'm 55. She's 76. And I do know that when she was turning 75, her doctor was like, you need to get this test, this test, this test, this test, all these tests done before the insurance companies will stop paying for it. And I just think that's ridiculous. How do the insurance companies come up with this random age of 75 where they think that we're not going to do the normal yearly testing that you've been told to do since you were 40 or 50 or whatever because we don't want to pay if we find something? That is insane. I mean, what why would they stop? And I know that they do. Well, why would they stop? Who determined that at 75 if something else is wrong with you, we don't want to know because we don't want to pay for it to fix it. That's crazy. That is just crazy. Like you can't get insurance won't pay for mammogram. They won't pay for colonoscopies anymore after 75. I mean, the things that we've been told all of our lives that were important to do on a regular basis, that they get to a certain age and all of a sudden it's not important for you to do it anymore. It seems like it would be more important as you get older to keep up on those tests to make sure that you stay healthy, that you are able to live the best life you live. You can't say at 75 you just aren't worth paying for the tests anymore. I don't understand how they get like that, but that is right. Right, lovely Jubilee. Money talks in the world of medicine. Money talks. You are right. And I mean, there have been times I've made phone calls to insurance companies in my day, and oh, thank you, Jesus is right, Denise. That's amazing. I am so happy that you still have your dad in your life. I miss my daddy. I miss my daddy. So be thankful for your dad every single day, boy. Yeah, you have to ask. I have been on phone calls with insurance companies and talking to people that have said that they're going to deny paying for things, and I say, "Wait a minute. Do you have a degree in medicine?" "Well, no, I don't have a degree in medicine," they say, and I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" My doctor who has a degree in medicine, who has an advanced degree in medicine, who is a specialist, has determined that this is the best course of treatment for me, and you, without a degree, without that same education, are going to tell me that you're not going to pay for it? How can you possibly know better than my doctor who has gone to medical school? I don't get it. I don't get it. But I've gotten through a few things that way. Jennifer, I'm very thankful that I still have my mommy in my life. I love my mom. Um, I'm not going to pretend that she doesn't get under my skin sometimes, as mothers and daughters tend to have those times, but overall, I'm so thankful for her and I love her to death. And I'm so grateful to still have her in my life. And I do thank God for her because I miss my daddy. My daddy's been gone since 1993. So my dad's been gone a long time. Um, he was 52 when he passed. So he was a young man when he passed. And I miss him. I miss his wisdom and his humor. That's funny. You can yell at each other across 17 acres. That's awesome, Denise. I would love to be have all my family in a close proximity like that. It would be fun. I love my family. I do. Lovely Jubilee. I do have access to cannabis oil in Michigan. They actually have legalized marijuana for recreational purposes. Um, but right now, I have tried cannabis oil, just the CBD, and that didn't do really anything for me. I do need to have some conversation with my pain doc about now that things are legal and as things get more regulated, I want to make sure that it's regulated and that I'm getting what they say I'm getting, to consider maybe some other kind of oil that maybe has a little bit of THC in it to help with the pain and sleeping and aw, Jennifer. That's why we love our kids. Our kids are our lives, and that is definitely, definitely. Myra said, "My mom is 78 and has Parkinson's. The insurance is a problem." Yeah, I'm sure. Your grandmother lived to 99. My grandma lived in her 90s, into her 90s also. Right. There is no moral reason not to pay for medical expenses for the elderly. It's ridiculous. That is crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, lovely Jubilee. I'm very sorry that you have leukemia. I'm sure that that does suck. I definitely, as things get better regulated in the state of Michigan, I definitely will be looking into some things, talking with my doctor, and yeah, you're lucky. But I think that, do you still have, do you know that if in the UK that you get to a certain age, like you do here in the United States, and that all of a sudden they don't want to pay for testing and this and that and every other thing because you're of a certain advanced age, how can that be? Oh, and I go screwing up my hair again. This thing makes you look backwards and it messes things up. It's not like that. That would be awesome because it is ridiculous that they just stopped paying. How does an insurance company determine that somebody at 75? Debbie. Hi, Debbie. If you want to hop in, I'll put the link in again. Good morning to Debbie. Good morning to you. Good morning to Debbie. Good morning to you. Exactly, lovely Jubilee. I think it is disgusting to treat people like that. To say, how can you say,
Let me get this turned off here.
had Miss Deb
Okay.
here? Good morning, Deb.
Hi, sweetheart. What's going on?
I just thought I talked to Darlene last night, and she has her second opinion today. So she was going to sleep in a little bit and go to that appointment and try to have a better frame of mind, and hopefully we'll get some better answers.
Yeah.
So I told her I would pop on and have a little bit of a show, and I'm glad you joined me because I've been here feeling like I'm just babbling on. How did your
Honey,
court go yesterday?
how did my what go, babe?
How did your court go?
Oh, that was super easy. Basically, it was, did I want to take a driver's course or not? And I said yes before, and then I didn't do it. And they called me in for a show cause. And I just said to the clerk before I went into the court, I said, what is this just to pay it? It was cheaper to pay the balance of the ticket than it was to do the class. And my insurance is already adjusted for the next year, so it's not going to show up. So I don't
Right.
care.
Yeah.
Why bother to go through that? I don't have that kind of time to waste.
Right.
Prayers go out to Darlene. I'm going to ask for prayers for everybody from you, from me. Doctors gave me a medication. I just got through downloading all of the stats on the meds. We're talking 24 pages here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, it's not pretty. This stuff is not for anybody who's had hyponatremia. Boom, I died from that a year ago. Nothing, not for somebody who's got a problem with upper gastric problems. Boom, I had gastric bypass. Not for me. Also, one of the worst things you can do is get diarrhea with this or become dehydrated, and it's a pill that takes the extra, supposed to take the extra water out from around your heart. I would rather die of a freaking heart attack than to die of diarrhea or to die because I had a hyponatremic seizure again.
No
I am
kidding.
really angry. They have gotten some testing done on this. They're not even sure if it's carcinogenic or not. I just stopped taking this medicine and I'm waiting for a call back from my doctor's office because
Oh
I have
my
to
goodness.
line to him. And I'm going to tell him, I don't know what the hell you guys are thinking of, but I told you what I had, what I've been through. And I'll
Yeah.
be if you're going to compromise me now. My levels before I broke my arm were absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And now
I'm
they're
going
all
to sing to the truth real quick. Hang on. Good morning, the truth. Good morning to you. Good morning, the truth. Good morning to you. That is yeah, Deborah says that that's very scary. That is scary, Debbie, that
That's more
they
than
would give
scary.
you something that could compromise.
People die from this from diarrhea. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
So I have had a situation for 2 days now. This is going on the third day. It takes 3 days for this stuff to get out of your system. It will be 3 days tomorrow that I quit taking it. I'm hoping I caught it in time. If not, good morning, Jennifer Hayes. I see you there. Good morning, Darlene. It's more than scary, because when you have a malabsorption problem and you're taking this, you don't know how much you're actually taking in.
Right.
You just don't have a clue. So I'm going to be taking copies of this to my regular doctor today and dropping it off in a file folder to her, saying, call me because I've got an issue. And then I'm going to get a hold of the heart specialist, who's the number one at this big hospital that teaches. He's one of the top in the United States. What part of gastric bypass didn't you understand, idiot? Because I gave him a whole spiel about it.
Isn't that difficult when you feel like you have to educate your doctors about stuff that you have going on? That's crazy.
Well, if anybody else out there, I don't know about lap band people or people that have had the sleeve, but people that have had gastric bypass, your intestines are literally, your small intestines, part of them have been deleted, and your stomach has been rerouted through your intestines, and you've cut your stomach down to the size of an egg.
Right. I had gastric bypass. I had the Roux-en-Y also.
Yeah, Roux-en-Y is what I'm talking about. That is the same thing. Roux-en-Y got gastric bypass, and I'll tell you what, it is the hardest thing to get over if after 12 years. 10 to 12 years out is when you start having the problems.
Yeah.
And
I had mine in 1997.
You're ahead of me. I didn't have mine until 2006. And I just started having problems. I literally died from a lack of sodium in my system.
That's crazy.
It's more than
Denise
crazy.
has had gastric bypass too.
My doctor told, maybe that's a YouTube channel I ought to do. Anyway, the thing that gets me is that I've told the doctors, my doctor, who's my personal doctor, she gets it. She understands it. So does my hematologist. She understands it and why I went anemic. So we've got the anemia under control. And my other doctor says, any doctor that causes you trouble, you call me immediately. So I've got to call into her, and I'm waiting for her to get back to me, but I'm going to drop this off for her light reading in the evening. Let me tell you, it's intense. But when I found this stuff, I just went, what in the hell? I mean, when they get it to you, you don't have a time to sit there and read through the pages of crap. It's just when you start experiencing symptoms that you start researching stuff. So, okay, everybody.
I have started partly from my gastric bypass and partly from all the other medical issues I have going on. Anytime I get a new medication, the first thing I do when I get home is Google it.
First of all, you have to find out if it's an NSAID or not. If it's an NSAID, you can't take it. You can't take a leave. You can't take anything with ibuprofen in it. It all has to be acetaminophen. Even prednisone is considered an NSAID. Unless it's injected, you can't take it. Now, this word on this right here, that particular is to keep you from having extra fluids in your system. It's one of the top ones, supposed to be sodium sparing. Okay, that's fine, except for if you've got gastric bypass, you don't got none to spare.
Right. So, good morning, Pearl Nini. Good morning to you. Good morning, Pearl Nini. Good morning to you.
I did my hair this morning. I don't know what happened to it.
It looks good.
Hey, it looks all over the place. Oh, well.
Mine does every day.
But I ended up yesterday, Tracy, after everybody, I went to the store looking for some photo bulbs for taking pictures because I do resell online. And I couldn't find the bulbs. And then when I did find them, I had to order them, and they were more than if I bought a new light system. So I just bought a new light system instead. But to make a long story short, stopped by Barnes & Noble, picked up a couple books I wanted to read, and I got a small Mocha Java chip. And came home. By the time I got home, I was in the bathroom off and on the rest of the day. I had a headache that would not go away. And I had a headache for 2 days that wouldn't go away. I haven't felt like eating because I was nauseous. I also started getting chills this morning. I'm in a freaking sweatshirt, guys, and it is 74 in this house. Because I am freezing. That's also part of the symptoms of dehydration. Right. And when you get too dehydrated, your body will go down in a spiral real quick if you've had gastric bypass. Okay, enough of my crap.
That's
good morning, Lynn.
I agree with you on that more than anything with the dehydration. The few times that I have become dehydrated from being sick or being ill, I have to go to the emergency room because once I get behind on dehydration, there is no
You're
way for me to
screwed.
catch back up with the gastric bypass.
All
They've
you can
got
do
to
is
do
go
it
in and
by
get a
IV.
banana bag. You
Yep,
got to go in and get a banana bag.
they got to give it to you IV.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what I'm looking at right now. If the headache doesn't go away by 2 o'clock this afternoon, I'm going to the ER and telling them I'm gastric bypass, I'm dehydrated, I need a banana bag, and I need it now. And if they don't believe me, they can take and do whatever they want to. I'll get my doctor to prescribe it. So it's got all the vitamins and minerals that you can't digest, you know.
Yeah.
So it's been a rough couple days, to say the least. And I get angry when I find out that I've been lied to by not one, but 6, including a specialist that said, "Oh, this won't hurt you." Well, you know what? I know better. I know better. Last doctor did kill me, and it was hydrochlorothiazide, which is one of the top dehydrating pills or water pills they give you. This pill is supposed to not do as badly. Well, baloney. And I said baloney because I'm a lady and I'm a Christian. But believe me, my brain is full of nasty thoughts right now. Sorry, I'm venting, guys. I don't usually do this.
You know what, Debbie, you know that's the whole thing, that this is our morning therapy session. And if you have something you need to vent about, then by all means, let's get it out there and vent.
Well, I've done all that I know how to do. And every time I turn around, it seems like I'm being hit from a different direction. Like I have to get a medical degree to live.
Right.
And right after my gastric bypass, I took a class that nurses take. I spent $2,500 for a week, plus the motel and everything, to go take this class that nurses take on how to survive after the fact. And I'm glad I did. And then I get this stupid little magazine every month. It's about bariatric surgery and things that are new. It's supposed to go to doctors. But I got it because I took this class, and they've never taken me off the list. Oh, thank you, Lord, because I learned so much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they quit doing the R&Y at my hospital because of the complications.
Thanks, Deborah, for stopping by.
Hi,
Have
Deborah.
fun
Thank you so
walking
much.
your doggies. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you so much. See, Perlini is saying to you, thank you. She agrees with you 100%. That's just it. You know, if you getting that information and having that information, lovely Jubilee, will always be in our prayers for sure.
Always. Always.
By what each of us learn, if we talk about it and vent about it, that you're educating many of us other ones that have also had gastric bypass.
Again, I don't know. I'm getting feedback from you because it's not from me, I don't think. Anyway, I just want everybody to know that a gastric bypass is not the easy way to go. And it's nice the first couple of years, but after that, your health starts to go downhill. And it's not what it's all cracked up to be. I have to get my protein in every day. I've got to get my water in every day. It's protein, water, vegetables, and then something nice to eat if I can. But you got to not eat sugar, because 11 grams of sugar will throw you into a dump. You know what dumping is. You get sick to your stomach. You start sweating like crazy. You feel a headache. You don't feel well, and it lasts. It's like having a hangover for an hour. So
Myra asks, do they recommend electrolyte water for you?
no, they do not, because they don't have any clue of what they're doing. What I do when I get dehydrated and I know something's down, I immediately take a half a teaspoon of salt. I mix it in about a half a cup of water and I gack it down. That's what I did last night. My headache's finally gone. Thank you, Lord. And I then will eat something sweet, because it's the sugar and the salt that I need to mix together. And that's what I do. And I've got a wonderful husband who understands. If I start to look like I'm groggy for no reason, I always tell him when I take meds and what meds I take. If I start to look groggy and it doesn't seem right to him, he immediately takes my blood pressure. My blood pressure yesterday, I'm sweating like a sieve. I'm freezing to death. And my blood pressure is 175/77 with an 85 resting rate.
Oh my goodness.
My heart never goes over a 62 to a 65 resting rate, and my blood pressure is usually 136/68.
Oh my
I knew I
goodness.
had a problem, so I immediately hit the salt. I immediately laid down. I immediately drank a full glass of water. My symptoms dissipated.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I've been through this before.
Right.
And I know that my salt is the biggest because I ride right above the edge. Ladies, your sodium serum level, if you've had any kind of testing done and you've got test results you can view, your sodium level needs to be a minimum of 136. If it's not, you are in a bad situation. I died when mine was 112. They brought me back from a hyponatremic seizure that caused cardiac arrest. The
Oh my
only reason
goodness.
I'm alive is because I was able to have two guys there that knew CPR, and they were in the middle of doing rounds. Everybody was doing rounds. I had a nurse holding me, walking me to the bathroom when I collapsed. And she said I went
Mm-hmm.
stiff, I shook, and then I collapsed. I was redlined. They immediately started CPR because they knew that I didn't have any electrolytes in my system to speak of. And because of
Mm-hmm.
that, those boys did 2.5 rounds, which is 2.5 minutes of CPR. That's the only reason I'm here. Had they waited 30 seconds, I wouldn't have been here.
That is so scary. That is so
It
scary.
is, but you know what it does? It tells me I'm here for a reason. If it's that I'm to tell people, I'm going to tell people. If it's here to make
Right.
somebody laugh, I'm going to make somebody laugh. If somebody
Right.
doesn't like me, take a life, go
Yeah.
somewhere.
God has a reason for you.
You betcha he does. And I've got a 17-year-old who is the most phenomenal child. And we adopted our granddaughter. She's another reason I'm still here.
That's
And
right.
I have purpose and I feel purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The question that I was given by you two yesterday was, what one person made me, more come back or to realize my spiritual bond with
Mm-hmm.
Christ?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely it was you girls because you helped me with that. But then I look back on that dying thing and that's pretty real. So I
Yeah.
guess I could say that it was Aaron and Angel, the two guys that saved me that did the CPR. The whole entire
Mm-hmm.
nursing class was in that bed in that room with me in the ICU. I went down in the ICU. Had I not been
Mm-hmm.
in the ICU and just the emergency room, I'd have had a problem.
Right.
They diagnosed me within 45 minutes of getting to the hospital of what the problem was, thank God, because I only had another 6 hours and they were trying to get my sodium up. But you can only raise your level on sodium 1 to 2 spots in a day without it being dangerous. So with what we've had done. So the thing
Right.
is that when I speak from my heart, and I made a promise to myself, I will never lie, cheat, or steal, or hurt anybody, or take advantage of a situation. Not ever. That's just not me anyway. But I would never do that. And if anybody ever has questions, oh my God, I open up to people I don't even know in the grocery store. I don't give them testimony, but
Mm-hmm.
what I tell them is they'll say, what are you doing? Oh, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Can I help you do the same thing? People go, why are you so nice? I said, because you know what? We only go around one time. Come on, guys.
Right. Right. We only get one trip on this earth.
Mhm. And if you help everybody, everybody helps you. Y'all have
Right.
helped me like there's no tomorrow. All of you guys too on the chat, y'all have helped
Right.
me, even if I've never really met you.
We
You all
all
helped
help
me.
each other. Yep.
You bet that's right.
We all help each
Myra's
other, but
asking,
yeah.
do you think a squirt of lemon in your water would help? No, I can't eat lemon. I can't eat lemon or oranges or anything acidic because it'll cause me to have a hole in my pouch, as they call it. I've got a stomach that's been cut away. Stomach was this big. Then the doctor came in and did a surgical staple and cut it away. So this one went into retrograde, and this was what's left of my stomach. It's the size of an egg that I'm sure is stretched out by
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely Jubilee, I agree with you 100%. I've not read that one, but
I'm
I
gonna look into
believe,
that.
yeah, I believe that the Lord takes care of me and he guides me to say what I say. I don't say things to people that I don't know, that I don't feel comfortable around. If somebody's mean to me, I immediately in my head say a prayer for their healing because They're idiots, and idiots need help too. And that's just the
true.
way I am.
Perlini Darlene is okay. She has her second opinion this morning on her back. That the first opinion, the crazy doctor that was so rude to her, she's going to her second opinion today. So she's just taking a day off to do that. So we are just having a little chat here, and not replacement. Second string took the ball.
Denise, if you know that your sodium level is down, don't do this if you don't know it for a fact. If you think your sodium level is down, you need to go into your doctor and say, I need a general CBC or a general of all my labs. I want to know what my sodium level is. That's part of the normal. And they'll do that for you. And then when you see what your sodium is, then you take some and take further action. If in fact your sodium is low and you know your sodium is low, a half a teaspoon of, and I am not a doctor, okay? I don't want to get somebody in trouble because I don't know what your situations are. But for me, what I do when my sodium is down is I'll take a half a teaspoon of salt. I've done it a couple of different times when we've not been at home and I knew my sodium was down. I would take a salt packet and I'd gack it down and then follow it with water. But that's the only way I know how to get my sodium level up enough for the moment that I don't have to worry. Now, what's funny is I gained 7 pounds overnight. I know it's water weight. It has to be water weight. And I know that. But guess what? The headache I had from yesterday is gone. I'm still fighting the trots. I haven't eaten breakfast other than a bottle of protein. That's all I've had. And I'm going to go in there now and after we're done here and probably have a couple pieces of toast. And I'll have some eggs, something lightweight. I eat a lot of cheese for the calcium. And that's about it. Okay, she says, I've been having it taken. It's at 128. You don't want it to get below 126. And if you think your sodium is low and you don't have a problem, did you have any kind of a weight loss process done, Denise? That's kind of important to know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hypoglycemia is also, Myra, it's a sign of being diabetic, I think it is. There's a hyperglycemia. Anyway, you got to be careful. You're not supposed to be eating sugar at all after gastric bypass, at all. You had the gastric bypass? Okay. Take a half a teaspoon of salt, put it in about a quarter to 3/4 cup of water, mix it up, gack it down, follow it with a full glass of water. You're going to have a water weight gain. If you don't have heart problems, you'll find that you feel better. And then go to the doctor and tell him that you want your sodium level up because you do not want, and the word is hyponatremia. If you drink alcohol, hyponatremia will, if you drink, for example, if you have a beer in the afternoon, everybody drinks a beer once in a while, okay? Most of us do. It will lower your sodium. I didn't know that. And prior to my hyponatremic seizure the day before, I'd had 2 or 3 beers. I didn't know any different. It was throughout the whole entire day. And I was told, as long as you drink a little beer, you're fine, but don't drink hard liquor. And then I had another doctor tell me, drink hard liquor, not beer. Well, crying out loud, y'all, make up your mind. You know? So I just sip beer. And I don't do it anymore, but I did. I would sip beer. And it wouldn't matter what kind of beer it was, whether it was light or whether it was a regular beer, it didn't matter. But the beer alone, the way it's made up, will take away your sodium. So you got to cut that out, and you've got to just remember. In fact, my doctor told me I was so low. He says, you're the only lady that's a little overweight that I'm going to tell, eat all the potato chips you want. And that blew my mind because he's also a heart specialist and a gastroenterologist. He told me, he says, eat all the potato chips you want, eat anything salty. And he says, until we get this leveled. I said, okay. So that's what I would tell you.
Yeah, I was just telling lovely Julie that they do tell you when you have gastric bypass to avoid sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, they even teach you, I mean, they did when I had it, they showed you how to look on the labels to make sure that you're not missing hidden sugar because a lot of things have sugar added.
Fructose, dextrose, lactose, all of it is sugar.
Corn syrup.
And the only chocolate you should be eating is dark chocolate that's 70% or more chocolate. Hey, Sandy, how you doing, girl?
Good morning to Sandy. Good morning to you. Good morning to Sandy. Good morning to you. Good morning, Sandy.
Yeah, another thing, Denise, is once you eat a little bit, you start down that slippery slope. Don't you, Tracy?
Yes,
right?
you do. Yes, you
There's
do.
no way around it.
Yes, you can eat fruit, but you have to be careful. Like you can't like orange juice or grapefruit juice is concentrated
And it's acidic.
citrus and it has a lot of sugar in it. And it can,
And it's acidic.
yeah.
It's not good for you. I can't drink lemonade because it can cause a hole in my pouch. I can't eat
But
raw lemons, limes, oranges. Grapefruit is totally out. I can eat peaches, plums, watermelon. Oh God, I love watermelon.
yeah,
I can sit down and eat almost a whole half a watermelon just by
I like
myself.
grapes.
Grapes are good,
I'm a
but
grape eater.
here's something to note, guys. The bigger the fruit, the smaller amount of sugar. The smaller the fruit, the larger amount of sugar. Betcha nobody told you that before, right?
No?
That's true. You've got more sugar in a grape than you do a half a melon.
Wow.
Yep. So
I
okay, let's
held
turn this into
to,
a gastrics class.
yeah.
Nobody eats sugar anymore.
Yeah.
You should not eat sugar
Hyperglycemia
anyway. It's
is high
addictive.
blood sugar and hypo is low, right?
Yep. Yep.
I sometimes, right, Denise, a lot of the spaghetti sauces have a lot of, especially canned or jarred from the store, have a lot of sugar in them. So you're much better off making your own sauce. It's not that hard.
Yep. And if it comes from, you can take and make sauce out of salsa. That's fresh salsa that you can go down and buy at a store that's in a container. And it makes the best sauce if you just sit there and cook up the salsa and then run it through a blender. It
Hmm.
makes really good sauce.
Yeah.
But we can have vegetables like coming out our ears. The problem is that you don't know how much of it is actually being absorbed into your
Right.
system.
Right. Which happens the same with medications
That's
that you
the
take
biggest
orally.
problem I've run into.
Hmm.
I was taking back before they knew what it was and how bad it was. They were giving me for pain, which turned out to be for some other stupid reason. They were giving me Vicodins, 3 of them a day, 3 10s, because I wasn't absorbing it like normal people do.
Hmm.
When I went off of those, the headaches that it caused are worse than the headaches that I just got over with dehydration. So
Hmm.
the withdrawal will hurt. So you have to know your body. You have to know you inside. You have to know know your levels. I have my blood drawn every 6 to 12 weeks because I'm on
Hmm.
top of it. And my doctor went ahead and told me, you've got an open lab. Anytime you want a lab, you go get the lab and then I'll send you the details in your email on your chart. I said, thank you. So
Hmm.
because I understand my chart, there's no reason for me to have a doctor's appointment. And
Right.
so she sends that to me. If I'm okay, great. If not, I make an appointment.
Hmm.
That's the way it should be, guys. You know, these guys, there's no way they can get to know every individual person.
No.
And the only reason that they knew about me having the problem with the sodium is I went to that hospital and had the surgery done. They called in the doctor from gastric bypass that did the surgery, and he knew about it. So he talked to I must have had 15 specialists when I crashed because they couldn't figure
Hmm.
out how come I'd gotten that low. So I was a learning experience, I think. But yeah, so the doctor knew it was a low sodium, but they don't talk. You don't
No.
have a gastric bypass doctor talking to a heart doctor that's talking to a regular general practitioner who's talking to a nutritionist. Nobody talks to each other. It's sad.
Hmm. That is true. They don't talk to each other. you have to say, did you physically talk to, like I had, for example, they're looking at a different type of stimulator for my spinal cord, for my leg.
Mhm.
And I had a spinal cord stimulator change when I lived in Georgia for 2 years. And now the way the lead is makes it difficult for them to get in there. And so the doctor that I see is not doing surgery anymore.
Oh my
So
God.
his partner that is doing the surgery came actually physically into one of my appointments so that he could look at the real-time x-rays and see where the injection went, so he could see if he could get in there or not get in there with the stuff that they have to do. And yes, Perlini, that is the most thing. I don't know how to highlight that, or I would.
You
You
click on
have
her
to
name.
be your own advocate.
Yeah. If you go over there to where her name is and click on her picture, you'll bring her up on a banner. Practice makes perfect. Might need to right click. I don't know.
Might need to right click.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I can do banners.
No. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Let's see. That's not it. Okay.
Anyway,
well.
I will work on that. But yes, that is the most important thing. You have to be your own advocate. Because if you aren't, who will be?
And I don't want to sound really gross, and I don't want to scare people. But you know how many people die every day at a hospital, and doctors just say, well, there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to. If they took every death to heart, they'd be out of their minds within weeks.
Right.
And they don't care about pain. They don't care. I mean, they care, but they don't. It doesn't, even if you're real close to your doctors, they don't really. You're just another person in their schedule of 15 or 20 people for the morning. They don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to find your symptoms, get them fixed, and push on to the next one. I don't want you putting a band-aid on my problems. I want you to solve the problem. And that's
Right.
what I go in with. I don't want medication. What is the problem and how do we solve it? That's what I always say. Well, we
That's
don't know
my
what the
biggest
problem
thing.
is. Yeah.
That's just treating a symptom. I don't want you to just treat a symptom. I
Yep.
want you to find the cause and fix
Exactly.
the cause.
Amen. Amen, Pearl Nini. That is just so perfect. They work for you. You don't work for them. They're not God Almighty. I mean, let's get real, guys. They're not. They are supposed to help us, not harm us. But when they start doing all this practicing on us, that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what will happen to a lot of us. We will die. Now, my doctor told me before I got the surgery, the one that I dumped after, and that's another whole story, but he told me, he says, I just buried a 68-year-old woman. I don't want to have to bury another lady in a few years. I said, well, thank you for that. I said, but
Yeah.
I think I need this surgery. He said, well, I'll give it to you, but I think you're going to be sorry because I didn't have to pay for it. My insurance covered it. And afterwards, I figured it all out. It's because he didn't have the knowledge. That woman probably died from hyponatremia, and he didn't know it. It is not something they're taught a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just have to really pay attention.
Lovely, you're right. It is scary when you think about you want to go to the hospital to get better, and then
Yeah.
you worry, are you going to even come out alive, depending on what's going on, or you can catch there's some of the worst, nastiest bugs are caught
In the
in
hospital.
the hospital, inpatient. You want to be inpatient as short of a time as you possibly can.
Yep.
And make sure I have been in the hospital and requested somebody wash their hands. You watch that when they walk in your room, they make sure they wash their hands in front of you.
And I usually ask them to please put on gloves. If they don't already have gloves they're putting on, I ask them, oh, could you put on gloves too, please?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a problem with that. And if they
No.
do, then you call for a supervisor,
Right.
nurse management on duty. And you tell them, you don't chew out the child that's there. You go to the mother,
Mm-hmm. Right.
know?
Well, yeah,
So,
even simple things when somebody's coming in your room to clean, I want them to put on fresh gloves or wash their hand. I don't want them to bring in the dirt from the last room they just cleaned into my room.
Exactly. And Perlini, you're right. They tell you to drink grape juice before you go to bed at night, but that's not if you've had gastric bypass because the sugar is too much. Grape juice is one of those no-nos. We can't drink regular Welch's grape juice. It is loaded with sugar. And even if you get the kind with no sugar added, it's still real hard on us.
Denise, my pain management doctor, he is a truly caring individual. And like Debbie said, they can't get too personally involved with each patient, but he definitely gives me the impression that it does matter to him that I'm pleased or happy with the treatment and our plan. And if I'm not happy, he's the first one to jump in and say, what can we do? He's a very good man, but they're not all like that.
Unfortunately, that's right. Unfortunately.
Yeah, good doctor. That's the thing though, and sometimes they might wash their hands before they come in, but that's why the rooms have sinks in them. I want proof you washed your hands. You wash your hands in front of me so I can see that you really did wash your hands.
And not only that, but that sanitizer after a while doesn't really work. That is one of the things that I've learned. Just because they use sanitizer doesn't mean that they're clean.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'll say, I appreciate what you just did, but would you put on gloves too, please?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have a problem with that. If they
that's
do,
where
then
the superbugs come from. They mutate to get around that kind of stuff.
It's interesting what you learn when you start digging into your own health. Like with me, yeah, I fell and I broke my arm, guys. And at my age, 69, I'm not supposed to heal very good because you're old and you're about to expire anyway, according to a lot of statistics. Oh, baby yeah. Girl. Do you know, are you ready for this? Before I started showing the gray, I had a guy who was 48 years of age in the grocery store, in the produce department, say, can you help me pick out a melon? Sure, I can. And I helped him pick out a watermelon. And he says, would there be a possibility that I could reciprocate by taking you to dinner? I said, are you hitting on me? He goes, well, I'd kind of like to see you. I said, are you kidding? Why? He says, I like your personality. He says, you were so sweet in giving me your time. And I said, do you know how old I am? He says, well, I know you're probably a few years older than I am. He says, I'm 47, I think is what he said, 47, going to be 48. And I smiled at him. I patted him on the shoulder and I said, darling, I'm old enough to be your mother and maybe your grandmother. And he looked at me. I said, I'll be 69 in August. And I about flipped. And he says, are you kidding me? I had to prove it to him. He says, I am so sorry. I apologize. I says, oh, no, you have made my
never apologize for thinking I look young.
My year, and you don't even know me.
Yeah, exactly. Never apologize for thinking I look young.
And he wasn't even wearing glasses, and I didn't have makeup on. I'm going, this guy is looking for a girl in the heart. He's not looking for the outside appearances. Because I had on raggy jeans. I had my hair combed, but it was better than this. And I didn't have makeup on. I think I had eyebrows on. That was about all I did that day. And I had on my tennis shoes and all of that. I was just in the produce department. And
see, guys, there are good guys out there.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, I have a daughter your age. Would you like to meet her? And of course, she got mad, and I didn't give him her info because I gave his info to her. And she says, Mom, I am not going to go out with some guy from the produce department. She just threw it away. I said, but he's really nice.
They say some of the grocery stores around here have had like singles night at the grocery store. They say that's one of the best places to meet people is the grocery store.
Well, it could be.
I don't know because I don't
feel my age. I refuse to act my age. And I was talking about my healing. My bones are all knitted together, finally. I'm ahead of schedule by 2 weeks, but the pain is still there. I still can't close that fist all the way. I can this one, but I can't this one. So if I have to remember, if I'm going to hit somebody, I'm going to have to left jab them, not right jab them, or I'll hurt myself.
It's gotten a lot better, though. I can see that. I mean, definitely.
Look, I'm rotating my wrist. This is unheard of. I had a jelly wrist. There was nothing in my wrist. God heals, guys.
Yes, he does. Amen.
And I've got a plate in here. You can see the scar almost. The doctor did such a good job on that scar, you can barely see it. But I've got a scar. I've got a titanium plate in there with 6 screws, and I'm not having any trouble. The only thing is that these 2 fingers right here are still numb. But he said, your nerves are going to take a while to grow back. And I go, okay, but I can still feel hot and cold on them, but I can't. It's like they're asleep.
Right.
And I'm left-handed, so that's a good thing. But yeah, the movement in this hand is beyond belief.
It's amazing.
You saw me when I first had it done.
Heck yeah.
I had no wrist and 2 broken bones. So calcium, I make sure I get my calcium in, and I don't take calcium tablets. I don't take vitamins. And
what do you do for your calcium, if I may ask?
Cheese, yogurt. I know that a lot of people are lactose intolerant after the surgery, but I'm not. Cheese, yogurt, ice cream when I can. Let's see, what else do I do? And when I have ice cream, it's less than a half a cup, but I still
can't drink milk. Milk upsets my stomach, but I can eat cheese, and I can eat yogurt and
yogurt, and I use plain. I didn't think I'd like this, but I took plain yogurt, whole milk yogurt with nothing added to it. You have to make sure it's not been processed. Okay, the wrong kind of process, and that has got the active stuff in it. And I take that, and I take about a tablespoon of honey and drizzle all over it. Oh my God, I love it. I didn't think I would, but I do. And sour cream is another one I like because I like to eat tacos. I drink a protein shake in the morning, or I'll put it in my cup of coffee, which is something else that I'm not allowed to have a lot of because it dehydrates you. So in case you didn't know it, people, Coca-Cola, coffee, they both are a diuretic, and they will take the water out of your system. So if you're trying to lose weight because you've got an overabundance and you've got leg swelling and stuff, coffee and Diet Coke are okay. I drink very little diet anything because I don't like the chemicals, but that's just me. I'll drink a 7-Up occasionally. It just depends. But when you've had gastric, you can't hold a lot of bubbly in your tummy, and you can't eat a lot of rice either. But back to what I was saying on the calcium, I have some calcium pills, but they don't go through. They just go through. They don't get absorbed. I did find some calcium gummies, but the problem is they're loaded with sugar. So I have to be careful. I might as well just eat candy, Yeah. So all I can do is tell you that I just eat real healthy when it comes to that. And I take a product called Moringa. It's like Moringa, Moringa, and look it up on Google it. I do the powder, and it's USDA certified. I buy it on Amazon in a 14-ounce bag, I believe, and I fill my own capsules. I take 2 of those a day. That is leveled out. My hematologist, who's a little gal from India, couldn't believe that my levels were where they were. She goes, oh my God, your calcium's balanced. Your iron is balanced, because I had to have 2 iron infusions. And she put me on liquid iron. Well, that lasted about 2 days. Iron constipates me really bad. Moringa's got more iron in it than spinach does. So I started taking this powder, this Moringa powder, and I am not a holistic, have to have the herb stuff. That's not the kind of person I am. I don't play that game. But this stuff worked because somebody I'd seen on a YouTube Homestead channel had stated that his osteoarthritis and his rheumatoid arthritis had gone away by taking this. And after 2 weeks, he saw it starting to work. Now he won't be without it. So my husband, having the same problems, gave it to my husband first. My husband's arthritis is not bothering him.
Wow.
He's 77.
Myra, I don't typically drink anything while I'm eating because it's more important to get like the protein and the stuff in me first.
We don't usually drink it
drinking
at
just
a half
fills
hour
you
to
up.
45 minutes after. Yeah.
Right. It
And it'll
just
push the
fills you
food
up.
through. Your food won't digest in what small intestine you have left if you drink fluid because it pushes it through the tubes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Typically I don't drink anything when I'm eating.
You're right. It's about an hour before eating. And an hour after is what you're supposed to do. I push it to a half hour, but.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Denise, I didn't start having problems with any of this until 10 years out. I had a girlfriend who kept passing out and falling down, having knee problems. She gained her weight back. It was just horrid. And her other problems started. She ended up with breast cancer and all kinds of stuff at the same time she had her gastric. So she was a mess. And I don't drink while I'm eating, and I always try to have something with protein in it. Seaweed is a good thing to eat, and I love seaweed. I go down to a local Japanese or an Oriental market and get it there. It's so good and it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Perlini, you have moringa. That is good. If you have a moringa plant, you can grow a moringa tree any place that's got a lot of humidity. And I've got moringa seeds I just purchased to plant because I live in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to plant those this spring. And the moringa leaf is what I have that's ground up, and it's fresh leaf. It's the bright green. It's not the brown moringa. You can get it online already capsuled, but it's stupid money and it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody is interested, drop me a message, and you can find me on Debbie Does Sales um, on Facebook. Drop me a message. I'll send you all the information. I don't have a problem sharing that. But I fill my own, and I'm about ready to fill more capsules. And the moringa, it's the whole entire plant. Be quiet, buddy. The whole entire plant is edible. The roots, the bark, they have a thing that grows a long pod that's about that long, and they call it in India, they call it drumsticks, and they make meals out of it. And this is what I found out from my gal that was my hematologist. She treats cancer patients daily. And when I told her about this and getting the iron in, she bought her own moringa, her own capsules. She's filling them at home and taking them herself because she has an iron deficiency. And she can't believe how much better she's feeling. Now, that's me teaching a hematologist about something she didn't know anything about. And I felt so accomplished,
Heck yeah.
I don't have all the
He
answers.
said it should grow in abundance in Georgia. Yeah, definitely. I loved living in Georgia. We lived there a couple years and I did love it. I love that heat and humidity. I did love it.
Oh, I don't like humidity.
What don't you like, Debbie?
I don't like humidity.
You don't like humidity?
Nope.
I would much rather have hot and humid over freezing cold any day. And I live in Michigan where it gets freezing cold.
I would rather live where it's hot and dry. But let's see, it says down here, that's true, Myra. Humus is something that you can eat. I'm just not real excited about it. It would grow well in Georgia. Let's see. Am I missing anything?
Lovely said moringa could be a cure for leukemia.
That's not true. I wouldn't put that out there. I don't know. They're claiming it on all these different sites. I would never say something's going to cure cancer because that gives false hope to people that are on all the important stuff to stop it and go on to the moringa and then find out they're a little too late. No, I'm saying it might be a great preventative if you've not already been diagnosed, but I thank the good Lord, and I'm on my knees every night that I've never contracted that. I had what they said was suspicious cells back when I was in my 20s. They did a DNC and I'm fine. I've never had it come back, and all of my PAPs have been perfect. My mother died of cancer, but she was a smoker. She had lung cancer. My stepfather died of lung cancer. My sister died of lung cancer. They were all smokers.
Wow.
Yeah, my sister smoked up until the day she died. She says, well, I'm on the down track anyway. I'm not going to come out of this, so why bother? And I'm thinking, well, that's a great attitude. You know? And I don't like living up in the Oregon area. That's where I came from. It's beautiful, but it's poverty with a view, and it's cold, like you
Mm-hmm.
said. I like dry heat, like
Well,
Las Vegas is dry heat.
the cold really does hurt me in the wintertime. I have so much difficulty with the cold in the winter, but my grandbabies are up here, so that's keeping us up here for now.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put you on mute I'm going to put me on mute just for a moment. My husband just walked back in. Just a moment, please.
Okay. Lovely said she put leukemia in remission with the THC high cannabis oil, 1 pound in 3 months. Wow. Yeah, I bet. I bet it's costly. What's the status of that kind of stuff in the UK? Are you like, is it medical or is recreational also legal?
No.
Okay.
What'd you do, Fall?
No, I was sitting on the ground.
Uh,
Husband was sitting on the ground, wanted to know if his butt was dirty.
uh, they just legalized CBD in the UK. Because they have last November they legalized recreational in Michigan, but it's been such a process getting all of the stuff worked out to the regulations worked out.
It's tough. You know, I've tried to smoke. I'll be real honest. I've tried to smoke pot one time, and it did nothing to me. And my son, who brought it in to me, said, "Oh, but Mom, this is good stuff." But that's not what he said. And he smokes pot a lot because he lives in Oregon and it's legalized. And I'm sorry to say, it's ruined his brain.
Mhm.
But no, I just never had the oomph for that. I've tried the CBD oil and I've gotten nothing.
I
And I've
didn't get
tried,
anything from the CBD oil either.
so you know, my
Yes,
feeling is
Lovely said
nature
smoking
is
it
the thing.
does nothing. I hit be straight up, Leah. I tried to smoke marijuana and it made me vomit. Apparently that was not what I needed.
Let's see.
Yeah, threw my toenails up. Exactly.
Well, I
That's
don't
what I did.
smoke. I don't smoke. I tried inhaling it and it did absolutely nothing for me. And then I coughed a lot and I went and opened a beer,
Yeah.
which was before I realized that I shouldn't be drinking beer. It was after my episode. See, I had to do more research after the fact to not have it happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But there is good stuff out there and there's bad stuff out there. The moringa, from what I have researched, states it has no complications with any other drugs on the market currently. That says a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah,
And
that says a lot,
that's just what the studies are showing. I am not a doctor. Again, I don't want to give out medical advice. However,
Me too,
research
Darlene B. One time was all I needed to know that, oh, ugh, I don't like the smell of it, and it made me vomit. But if I don't have a problem, if it works for somebody and it gives them what they need, then do
Yep.
what you got to do. You know, at this point in time, it's not illegal in the state of Michigan. So do what you got to do. Doesn't bother me.
Well, everybody, it's like with alcohol. Some people can take one drink and they're addicted. Some people can drink it and it doesn't even affect them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's how your body absorbs and takes stuff. Hi,
Good
Lizanne. How are you?
morning, Lizanne. Good morning to you. Good morning, Lizanne. Good morning to you. I
We're
hope you feel
talking.
better soon, sweetie. I love you. I'll pray for you.
Me too.
Oh, well, Debbie, I am seriously thinking about wrapping this up. I mean, we've had such a great conversation that I don't want to go, but I've been on for over an hour and a half, and I
I
just
bet you're
need to
tired
get up
to
and
get
move.
up and walk
Yeah,
around, huh?
yeah, I kind of need to get up and move around a little bit, but I love you all. Big love.
Definitely.
Thank
Big,
you
big,
for
big, big.
coming all the way over to Tracy's channel. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate it.
I'm glad I found you.
I'm glad you did too.
Everything happens.
Yep. Let me
Love you guys.
And this broadcast, I love you all. See you hopefully tomorrow for Crazy Hat Day over on Darlene's channel.
Yeah.
And that is where